Talk to me about how, you're in your 40s now when you wrote the book, not quite there yet. How has your training, if at all, changed as you are moving into sort of these perimenopausal years, and what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I joked with somebody recently who was turning 40 because I'm now 42 and I'll be 43 this year. I joked with somebody, I said, "Oh my God, don't worry about 40. Like when people tell you that everything drops off hill at 40, it's totally not true. It's 42 when that
It's
happens."
actually, yes.
Because I truly think this was the first year that I was like, "Oh, I can't just like do whatever for a weekend and run a 5K and just go back to baseline." So I think the biggest thing recently has just been, figuring out that my body is starting to go through some of those changes where the way that I worked out and ate before might be a little bit, my needs are a little bit different now. But what I do know is that because I've been strength training for so long and I have loved it no matter what, and I would keep doing it whether or not there was like these big health benefits. But what I'm finding more and more is that I'll talk to other moms who are around the same age as me, and they'll say things like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did XYZ thing in the gym. I can't even carry my kid from like the living room to their bed."
Hmm.
And my response to that is always like, "But don't you want to? Why don't you want to be able to do that?" And I think what is a little scary to me is that these are women who we are approaching those perimenopausal years. And maybe they don't know, but I think in general, we know that when we start to go through menopause, we're going to lose bone density. And what is the only way to build your bone density? By putting load on it through strength training. We know that everybody, not just women, as we get older, right? You're going to start losing muscle mass and muscle strength. And I wish somebody would just tell them, hey, when you combine those two things, loss of muscle mass, which is going, and muscle strength, which is going to lead to you having, less balance, for example, and you combine that with the fact that you're going to lose your bone density and you fall, now we have to start worrying about losing our independence in what, our 50s at that point? And that's terrifying. I don't know why it hasn't been told to more women earlier on that you just have to be strength training. You don't have to do what I do. You do not have to pull a 50-ton truck, but you have to do some level of strength training as you get older if you want to just maintain your health,
Yeah.
your independence as you get
Honestly, I
older.
would take the 2 pounds at 4,000 reps, like rather versus
Yeah.
nothing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting too. I don't think that I think humans typically think linearly. So we say, oh, well, my 20s to my 30s sort of felt like this. And then my 30s to my 40s felt like this. And so my 40s to 50s will probably feel maybe like marginally worse, instead of thinking like there is an exponential fall off of a cliff that you are running towards, that you are going, if you don't have the lean muscle tissue, so like the muscle mass that you've been talking about, if you don't have the density of your bones, you are going to fall off of a metabolic and physiological cliff, and you are not going to recover. For it is going to be very difficult to recover. So the falls is certainly one thing that we see. 50s and 60s, and for most, I was doing a presentation. I had these stats memorized right before I presented, so I'll try to recall it now. But it was like 300,000. This is the CDC, so this is just states stats from the states. It was 300,000 people per year are hospitalized for falls. Of that, 75% of them are women, and then 50% of the individuals who are hospitalized don't make it within the year. So they are dead within the year, especially if it's a hip fracture. So if we fall and maybe you break you fall on an outstretched hand, and maybe you fracture the radius or the ulna, something, you're probably going to recover from that. But if you fall on, you and I live on the East Coast, we live in Toronto, and there's ice and there's rain and sometimes there's black ice, which is like, doesn't look like it's ice, but it really is. And you fall and you break your hip, that is a death sentence for 50%
Yeah.
of us. And then the cognitive decline and as you were saying, the loss of independent function is not a joke. It's not a joke. Most people cannot go back to independent living after a hip fracture. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's terrifying. And to your point, I don't know why more people are not talking about that, but it's like, well, let's just be the little tiny itty bitty grandma. We can be the little itty bitty
Yeah.
grandma instead of the strong. I often joke and say, like, I am training now, so I'm 46. I'm training now I want to be the favorite grandmother. Like I want to be, if I'm blessed with grandchildren one day, I want to be able to be the grandma who takes the kid for the day, and then the parents, then my son and his partner are not going to be worried that something's like I have the capacity, the cognitive and the physical capacity to take care of this child. I can take it to the park. I can get up off the floor. I can, pick it up. All the things like those are the things that I'm really excited about and that I'm training for. So I'm doing lots of squats, lots of deadlifts, like some of the basic movement patterns, overhead press, to be able to pick up the baby and like throw it up in the air. So all of these kind of things, I think, it also comes down to, core values as well, right? So I always try to, I know you and I are very aligned in terms of our philosophy around strength. And I'll also say I do want to meet people where they are. So if there's someone who's listening, it's like, I've never want to do a strongman competition. It's like, okay, I'm probably never going to do a strongman competition either. But I am also going to try to be as strong AF for as long as I can. And maybe I'll need to modify things. Maybe I'll need to change axial loading. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll need to change things as I age if I'm injured or whatever. But even through injury, that's not going to stop me from training. I'm just going to modify. I'm going to rehab it, and I'm going to modify the way that I train so that I don't get injured again.
Yeah, and that's it, right? Like people don't have to do. I sort of say, I went to kind of the fringe of the weightlifting world in this book in the same way as if you ever read Born to Run, right? He went to the absolute extreme of the running world just to bring back lessons that the rest of us can use for picking up gallon water jugs and doing lunges in your living room. Like that's okay too. Wherever you need to start is fine. And, especially when you talk about kind of the grandmother you want to be and like parent you want to be, one of my favorite things to do with my girls is I can pick them up with each one of them up with one hand and press them overhead.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And they that's fun for me, but their faces and they love it so much. And, every morning now they make me airplane them to the front door, which involves me holding them directly out in front of me, like the hardest way you can hold something and go from one end of my house to the other. I don't ever want to have to stop doing that. I hope that even as they listen, at some point they're not going to want me to do that anymore, but I'm not going to be carrying teenagers to the front door. But for as long as they want me to be able to do that, I want to be able to do that for them. And I want to be able to train with them if they ever want to do that.
That's great. My kids are 13 and 11, and what they love to do, so I'll like hold my hand out here, and then they'll like wrap themselves, like, so they'll hold onto my arm and see if I can hold them up or if my arm's going to drop. Yeah. So my 13-year-old, I got to train a little bit because now he's almost the same weight as me. So I gotta work with him. But my 11-year-old loves to hang, and I'm just like, yeah, I can hold you here, buddy. Like, no problem. And he loves it. He loves it. Yeah. That's so great.